Well, so here in this particular folder, like you can see, we have two folders and two files. This particular file is something which we are going to work. So let me explain you the problem statement. The problem statement which we have today. This particular file has the price list for Bitcoin for couple of years. I mean, let's say starting from November 2017, it has the data till August 2021, right? Let me show it to you. If you right click over here, so you have all this data. Now the problem statement is to, like you can see in this single file, we have data for each of the month on a separate sheet. So what we want is, we want to have a separate Excel file for each of the year. That means, let's say I want to have a Excel file called monthly price 2018, and in that I would have all these sheets from 2018. This would look something like this if you see over here. So here for 2017 we have a separate file, and for each of the year we have a separate file. Now if I open just this particular file, it would have the data only for the months falling in 2018. So if you see, it starts with January 2018 and December 2018. So similar kind of problem you might also get in your day-to-day job, right? So we will just see how to achieve this particular thing. Before we start, what I'm going to do is, from this particular folder I will delete all these files because these are previously created, right? And then we will start it. So let's jump to the Jupyter notebook and let's start how can we achieve this. Alright, so over here I have imported all the necessary libraries, which are pandas and OS. Not necessarily all of these are going to be used, but to be on safer side I have just imported them. First thing which we will do is, we will get the list of all sheets which are available in that particular file. When I say that particular file, that means this monthly price. In this particular file, whatever sheets that we have, we are just going to list them down. How can we do that? For that, you just need to start writing the code, of course, which is very obvious. So I'm just going to say sheets equals to pd.excel file, and in that I will just put this location. So if you are working in Windows, then you will get a backward slash, something like this, to which you need to change to forward slash. Okay, all right, so it's just gone. I will again do this. Sheets equals to pd.excel file, and in that I am just going to put this particular thing. Oops, seems like there is some problem. Okay, let me copy it from here. Alright, so in monthly Bitcoin monthly price folder, we have the Excel file which is named as monthly prices. Sorry, please bear with me. Monthly prices .xlsx. Okay, and from this particular file we want to list down all the sheets, and for that we again, this particular method imports the Excel file, but to list down these sheets we just need to create another object which is called, which I'm naming over here as my workbook, sorry, my worksheets. And in that I will say sheet underscore names. And now let me show you how does this looks. Oops, something went wrong. What is wrong? No such file this particular exists. Why is that so? Let's investigate. Alright, so it seems like there is some spelling error. So what I'll do is, I'll just copy this once again. I will put this over here. Okay, let me just copy this once again. Okay, and then over here, just copy this from here, put it inside this, and from here what I'll do is, I'll just copy this particular Excel file name and then XLSX, and let's run this. This is executed. Now I'll just uncomment this, and here you have the list of all the sheets which are available in this particular file. Okay, so what I'll do is, just for your reference, I will take only 3 sheets for sample, just so that we could see it, right? Now the next thing which comes over here is separate year string from each of the sheet names, because we have to create a separate file for each of the year. So we need to have a list of years from each of the sheets, right? So how can we do that? For that, we're gonna say years and equals to year. Over here, what I'm trying to say is, just pick the characters from each of the element starting from 3rd place, right? So starting from 3rd, over here, for year in my worksheet. All right, now let's see how does this years looks like. Oh, we just got comma, 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 comma. Now let me just fix this for you. Okay, well, so the problem over here is we need to pick all the characters coming after 3rd position, right? Now if you see here, you got this kind of thing. All right, this is the list which has been created. Now I'll just do one quick thing, and that thing which I'm going to do is list, because I have to take a unique list. Here if you see, it's duplicate, right? For 2018 you have so many entries, right? So many elements. So that's something which I need to remove. So for that, what I'll do is, I'll just create one thing from keys, and inside that I would say years, and now I will show you what happens. You see this? Now we have the unique list of each of the year. So this is how, first thing which you're gonna do is take the list of all the sheets, then separate the year from each of the sheet. In your scenario, it could be a different case where you want to pick some separate string for the given sheet name. So for this is how you can just manipulate. Now the next step comes in, read all the sheets from the said file and create a separate Excel file for each year. Now there are 2 things. First, we have one list for years which we will use to create a separate file. Then we have another list which is for each of the sheet. Now what we're gonna do is, we need to do couple of things. First, we need to create a blank file for each of the year. How can we do that? So for that, we're gonna say for year in years. All right, so what it will do is, we have a list of years. In that, for each of the year, we are going to create a blank file which is called Excel Writer. I will just create an object Excel Writer, and that is available with pandas data frame. Okay, and in that, all that you need to do is just put this particular location where you want to create this blank, where you want to have the separate file for each of the year. Let's see that. So that particular thing we want to output in this testing wala folder. Okay, in this folder we want to output that. So what I'll do is, I'll quickly put this testing over here, testing, and then we need to give the file name. What is the file name that we want to create? Okay, in what is the name that we want to give? Price list for which year, right? So for now, I'm just going to keep this much of the string, plus what I'll do is, I'll just use year. So the file name will become price list underscore each of the year, 2017, something like something. Okay, and then I need to provide the extension which is XLSX, and then this default engine which we need to give, and that engine is going to be XLSX Writer. Okay, so this is how you will just create a blank file in this particular location which is called testing. Now this is done. This particular blank file is created. What comes next? Now we need to read each of the sheets, right? Each of the sheets which are available in this particular list. How can we read that? So we're gonna say for sheet in, it's probably my worksheet, the list name is my worksheet. I will just take this name from here and I'll just put it over here. So in that, we're just going to say for sheet in my worksheets. So now it will start reading each of the sheet. So what we're going to do is, if sheet dot ends with year, so what it will do is it will start reading each of the sheet in this from this particular list. So the sheet names will be like this: November 17, December 2017, January 2018. So we just start the loop. First in this particular list, pick the first year. So here, for example, it will pick 2017, and for that it will create a blank file. Then it will start another list and it will go in my worksheet, and over there it will check the name of each of the sheet. If that ends with year 2017, then what it gonna do is first import that particular data frame. So how it gonna, this is very simple, we all know, right? Sorry, we're gonna say read Excel, and from there we have in this particular location, we have this particular file. That file name is called monthly price, which we're gonna pick over here, monthly price dot xlsx, and from here we need to choose only those sheets, right, which is matching to this particular condition, right, which has this particular year ending with. So for that we will just say sheet. So be careful, we are using nested loops, right? So for it is checking for first it is checking for each of the year, then it is checking each of the sheet in the list of sheets, right, wherever the sheet name ends with a particular year. So that will be created over here, that will be imported over here. Now the next thing which comes in over here is, now you have the data imported. What you have to do is you have to export the data in this blank file, right, for each of the years separately. So for that we're gonna say df dot to excel, and for that we have already created a one blank file which is Excel writer, right? And in that we just gonna put that particular thing, and we will give the sheet name. Sheet name will be this sheet for each of the each of the month and year, and we're gonna say index equals to false, because I personally don't like having the index. And we will just close this, because we just need to get out of this loop, not from this loop but from this loop. Once each of the each of the file is checked, each of the Excel file is checked from here, right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just exit from this particular loop and come for the another year. Okay, so for that I will say Excel writer dot save. Okay, so this is how this list will be created. This will create a individual file for each of the year. Okay, now let's execute this and see if it is giving some error. It will take few minutes to execute, to complete the execution, in fact, and then we would have a complete list of all the Excel files in testing folder, here in the testing folder. Well, so it has been completed. Let's jump to the testing folder and see if the output is there. Wow, here we have the output. Now if you don't trust me, just open any one of this Excel file, and here you go. Here you have the data for all the months from 2020. So I just hope that you liked it and you understood it. Just in case if you face any problem, do not hesitate to put that into the comment section, and I will definitely try to get back to you and solve your problem. Until then, happy learning.